At a veterans' hospital nestled in Pennsylvania, the atmosphere shifted suddenly. Former President Donald Trump had arrived unannounced. No cameras, no entourage of media, just Secret Service in tow. He wasn't here for a speech or a spotlight. He wanted to meet the people behind the white coats and 4 bags. The mood among nurses changed. Veterans sat taller in their beds. But one man remained unmoved. In the back row sat Dr. Aaron Miles, his coat wrinkled, his shoulders heavy. Exhaustion marked his face. Unlike others, he didn't applaud. No smile. His eyes briefly met Trump's, then dropped. That reaction didn't go unnoticed. After greeting patients and staff, Trump made his way over. "Doctor," he said, offering his hand. "Thank you for what you do." Aaron nodded, voice dry. "Just part of the job. You look like you've seen it all," Trump said. "I've seen more than I care to remember," Aaron replied. Trump tilted his head. "Can we talk?" With a sigh, Aaron agreed. They stepped into the break room. Trump pulled out a chair. "You don't look impressed," he noted. Aaron exhaled. "I've held dying soldiers, kids who never got a chance. Promises never brought them back." "I'm not here to offer promises," Trump said. Aaron chuckled darkly. "That'd be a first." A long pause followed. "Tell me what you want, doctor," Trump finally said. Aaron looked up, surprised. "I don't want awards or bonuses. I want change." "What kind of change?" Trump asked, now leaning in. Aaron spoke carefully. "There's a child named Malik, 10 years old. Lost his legs to an IED. His father was an interpreter for U.S. forces. Killed in front of him. Malik made it here, but without papers, without care. He's trapped in the system." Trump frowned. "Why tell me this?" "Because if you really care," Aaron said. "Help him, not me. No cameras. No FAR. Just give him a chance." Aaron's voice dropped. "There are more like him. Lost, forgotten. I can't keep fixing bodies if I know the system's breaking their futures." Trump was quiet. "You want justice, not attention." Aaron nodded once. Trump stood. "Give me his information." Aaron shook his head. "No promises. Just do it, or don't." The next day, Malik's file was gone. Panic rose in Aaron's chest. Was it misplaced? Stolen? Then he found a sealed envelope on his desk. A single note inside. Request received. No press. Just action. DJD. Aaron's hands trembled. Was this real? He stared at the letter, rereading it as if it might vanish. Then he bolted to Malik's room. The boy sat at the window, drawing airplanes with crooked fingers. "Malik," Aaron said, kneeling. "Remember how you told me you wanted to walk again?" The boy nodded, cautiously hopeful. Aaron smiled. Someone just opened the right doors. That afternoon, a discreet medical team arrived. No logos, no spotlight. They reviewed Malik's case quickly, then quietly moved him to a top-tier rehabilitation center in D.C., a place Aaron never imagined they could reach. The whispers spread among the hospital staff. Some were doubtful. Others murmured, "Maybe he actually cares." Aaron said nothing. Instead, he sat alone in the break room and cried, for the first time in years. Not from sorrow, but because, for once, light had pierced the dark. That night, Trump called. "I didn't do this for politics," he said. "Then why?" Aaron asked. "Because you asked for something that actually mattered," Trump replied. "And I realized maybe I'd missed that part." Aaron didn't answer, but something inside him shifted. Could one life ignite a ripple of change? Maybe this was what healing truly looked like. It was a cold morning when Malik took his first steps using his new prosthetic legs. Physical therapists watched closely, but it was Aaron, quiet, still in the corner, who mattered most to the boy. Malik stumbled, laughed, and then collapsed into Aaron's arms. "You're flying, kid," Aaron whispered, voice cracking. Malik smiled. Someday, I want to run. You will? Aaron promised. Then came another envelope. This time, from the Department of Homeland Security. Malik and his late father had been granted posthumous honors for their support to U.S. operations. Malik was now on a path to citizenship. It was more than Aaron had dared to dream. Staff still wondered. Why no headlines? Why the silence? Aaron's answer was simple. Because for once, someone listened instead of talking. Soon, other families began sending letters, asking for help. For their kids. For hope. And maybe, just maybe, a new kind of change had already begun. No one expected change. Not really. But then, something quiet began to unfold. Every week, a couple of cases mysteriously found resolution. No press, no grand reveal. Just quiet acts of healing. Aaron kept a corkboard above his desk. Every child helped earn a photo. Slowly it filled up. One evening, a handwritten note appeared. One voice starts the wave. Yours was the spark. Signed simply Donald. Aaron couldn't deny it anymore. This wasn't political. It was deeply personal. Word never made headlines, but across forgotten corners of the country, a shift began. Hospitals like his received quiet funding. Kids from conflict zones started showing up at world-class treatment centers. Most assumed it was charity. Only a few connected the dots back to one unlikely conversation. Aaron began sharing Malik's outcome. Not who helped, just what was done. More doctors began writing him, asking for help. No names, no egos, just hope. And again, the pattern continued. No limelight, only results. Then came a letter from a mother in Afghanistan. Her son Ali, born deaf after a nearby explosion, had received a cochlear implant. She wrote, "Your country brought us loss, but now it brings light. Thank you, healer." Aaron pinned the letter beside Malik's photo. One night, Malik's therapist called. "He drew something for you." Aaron found Malik quietly sketching. 2 stick figures. One was the boy with crutches, the other was Aaron, holding his hand. Scrawled beneath, "Doctor gave me legs. He's my hero." Aaron knelt beside him, voice tight. "No, kid, you're mine." Outside, a black SUV waited, a silent agent inside. Not guarding Trump, but keeping an eye on Malik. Not long after, another figure returned. Samantha Reyes, double amputee, former combat medic. She'd battled addiction and vanished from the system. Aaron had once treated her with kindness. Now she stood tall, sober, strong, ready to give back. "I heard what you've been doing," she said. He shrugged. "I just passed along a message." She smiled. "Well, it worked. I want in." They launched Project Anchor, a community pairing wounded veterans with young survivors. It gave both sides purpose and peace. Funding was tight, but somehow needs were met. Therapy rooms, transport vans, job training. All paid for by someone who never asked for credit. Samantha pointed to a new therapy space. "We should name it." Aaron paused. "The Malik Center." Samantha nodded. Malik himself cut the ribbon, wobbling with pride. The room filled with kids and veterans, broken, healing, and human. One wall was covered in drawings, letters, thank you notes. And in the center, Aaron framed a quote. "Healing starts not when we speak, but when someone truly listens." Dr. Aaron Miles, once hollow and numb, now slowly stitching himself back together, one life at a time. Then, late one night, an old file slipped open. Out fell a sealed envelope, dated 3 years prior. It read, "To any doctor who still believes." Aaron opened it, curious. "If you find this," I tried. "My son, Amir, was 7. He died waiting for help. We were undocumented, But he loved America. He believed someone would come. I hope you are that someone, for someone else's child. Layla B. Aaron's chest tightened. He placed the letter on his desk. His hands trembled. How many Amirs had been lost? He scribbled Layla B. on a sticky note and tucked it under Malik's photo. Never again, he whispered. The next day, at a Project Anchor meeting, he read Layla's letter aloud. Samantha's voice cracked as she finished. The room fell silent. Then Carlos, a veteran, stood up. Let's honor the kids we couldn't save. A scholarship. Call it the Amir Fund. Heads nodded. That very week it launched. Within 2 days, $100,000 landed in the account. Anonymous, of course. Aaron didn't even blink. He texted the number that had only messaged once before. We remember Amir. Thank you. A single word came through. Always. Project Anchor blossomed faster than Aaron had imagined. Veterans found renewed purpose. Children discovered mentors who truly understood their pain. But it was more than mentorship. It was transformation. One morning, a hardened Marine named Hank approached Aaron. I used to resent kids like Malik, he said quietly. I thought we were fighting to keep them away. But he hugged me like I was family. Aaron nodded gently. Maybe you both needed each other. Word of the center's work reached towns and communities far and wide. Families drove hours just to get to the Malik Center. Yet still, the media stayed silent. Exactly how Trump intended it. No front pages, no campaigns. Just quiet change. One day, Aaron received another envelope, stamped by the Office of Veteran Affairs. It granted new funding for veteran-led healing initiatives, modeled directly after Project Anchor. He showed it to Samantha. You made this happen, he said. She grinned. No, we did. That same day, Aaron passed by the letter wall in the Malik Center. One letter, scribbled in crayon, caught his eye. Dear soldiers, thank you for giving me someone to hold my hand. Love, Tina, 8. He paused, breathing deeply. His sorrow was no longer just sorrow. It had evolved into purpose. For the first time in a long while, Aaron began to believe something deeper. Maybe real change starts not with noise, but with listening. That night, while reviewing patient charts, his phone rang. Unknown number. He picked up. Dr. Miles, the voice said. Yes. This is Donald Trump. Aaron stiffened. Mr. President? Trump's voice was soft, almost hesitant. I want to visit. No press. Just me. Is that okay? Aaron paused. Why now? Trump replied. You once told me I didn't understand sadness. I'd like to understand better. 2 days later, a plain black SUV pulled into the back lot of the Malik Center. No media, no suits, just Trump, wearing a jacket and slacks, stepping quietly inside. He looked aged, slower, humbled. Children greeted him. Veterans shook his hand. Malik handed him a drawing, an eagle with a prosthetic leg. Trump knelt beside him. Is this me? Malik giggled. No, it's Hope. Aaron watched from the sidelines. Later, in his office, Trump sat across from him. You didn't take my offer, Trump said, but you did more than I ever could have with a headline. Aaron met his gaze. You changed too. Trump looked down. I used to think leadership was about command, but maybe it's about listening. As he left, he handed Aaron an envelope. Inside was a note. 10 more centers. Quietly. No spotlight. Just results. Deet. Aaron said nothing. They simply shook hands. Not as president and doctor, but as 2 men who had learned from sorrow. Within weeks, 10 more Malik centers opened across the country, staffed by veterans, supported by volunteers, and focused on those the system forgot. Each center stood on one principle: no child overlooked, no vet left behind. In Chicago, Aaron visited a new branch. There he met Darnell, a boy who'd lost both legs in a blast overseas. His mentor, a blind Navy pilot named Casey, lifted him onto a therapy swing. Aaron saw a rare kind of strength, not of body but of spirit. On every center wall hung a shared phrase in English and Arabic. "We are not what we lost, but what we choose to give." Back in D.C., Malik now walked without crutches. He even helped others learn. "You're teaching now," Aaron told him. Malik smiled. "Like you did." Letters arrived every day, some heavy with pain, others radiant with joy. One afternoon, Samantha pulled Aaron aside. "Still carrying sadness?" she asked. Aaron glanced down the hall at kids laughing, Malik skipping. "Not anymore," he said. What had begun as a quiet act of compassion had turned into a silent movement. Not in the capital, not on TV, but in the spaces where forgotten people remembered they mattered. And it all began with a grieving doctor, a single letter, and someone who chose to hear what wasn't being said. Underscore Even after all the center had grown into, Aaron never missed a week without visiting the small memorial garden out front. Only one plaque sat there, and it read, "To those we couldn't keep, you are remembered." One chilly evening, Aaron sat there, Malik's sketch folded inside his coat. Light rain kissed his shoulders. A woman quietly approached, holding a weathered photo of a young girl. Her daughter, Nia, who had died in the city. "No one ever saw her," the mother whispered. Aaron looked at the photo. Nia had the same eyes as Malik. She reached out. "But your center brought me peace. I see joy here now. I just wanted to say thank you." Aaron sat still for a moment, then said something he hadn't said aloud in years. "I'm sorry." The mother gently nodded. "That's how I know it matters," she said. "You still care." That night, Aaron sat down and wrote to every staff member. "You won't save them all. You'll feel worn, even defeated. But if you keep loving deeply, even your failures will plant seeds. And someone, somewhere, will breathe again because you stayed." Samantha had always kept her story hidden. But during a staff retreat, she stood up. "I was married. He served. He never made it home." Her voice shook. "I came here to disappear. But this place made me live again." Silence followed. Then Carlos, the former Marine once bitter at the world, rose and saluted. "You served too," he told her. After that day, Samantha wore her husband's dog tag outside her shirt. Visible for the first time, Malik once asked, "Was he strong?" She smiled. Stronger than the hurt. Her openness sparked a wave. Veterans began to share. The kids followed. One lunch break, Malik told the table, "When I was scared, Dr. Aaron just held my hand." Another child added, "He did that for me too." Aaron overheard and froze. Healing, he realized, wasn't always a prescription or speech. Sometimes it was presence, just being there, holding on long enough for hope to return. One morning in the staff restroom, he noticed a sticky note on the mirror. It read, "You didn't save everyone, but you saved me. Jay." He stood there, staring. No staff named Jay. No kid he remembered. But it didn't matter. It was a quiet truth. So many had been touched. Some without names. Some without thanks. Later that day, a veteran named Jonah approached. "I used to sleep right outside this place. Now I lead sessions here." Aaron nodded. "Was that your note?" Jonah smiled. "No, but I wish it was." As the day closed, Aaron added a line beneath the sticky note. "Even in silence, kindness echoes." Days later, more notes appeared. From staff. From kids, from parents. The mirror transformed into more than reflection. It became a heartbeat of the center. Months after Trump's quiet visit, one snowy morning, Secret Service returned. No press. No fanfare. Trump walked in with a plain box. Inside, a folded flag, a hand-carved wooden eagle with a prosthetic wing, and an old letter from his mother. Aaron read the letter in silence. "True greatness," it said, "isn't in what you claim, but in what you quietly build in others." Trump placed the box on the memorial table. "Add it to your museum," he said. Malik rushed forward and hugged him. "You came back," he beamed. Trump knelt down, visibly shaken. "I promised, didn't I?" Aaron walked him out. "Why this place?" he asked. Trump paused. "Because it gave me back something I lost." "What was that?" Aaron asked. Trump met his eyes. "Faith." Though the Malik Center was never officially recognized, a silent wave spread in its name. Veterans across the country nominated Aaron for a national award. When contacted, he declined. "This isn't about me," he insisted. But Malik had other plans. He grabbed Samantha's phone and made a video. "Dr. Aaron helped me walk again. Not just with my legs, but with my heart. Please let him win, so the world sees what kindness really looks like." The clip went viral. The committee had no choice. Aaron was honored in a small, private ceremony. He hadn't worn a suit in over a decade, but that day he did. As he stood before the small audience, he said simply, "Grief isn't weakness. It's proof you loved. And love, when shared, can rebuild anything." Days later, a $1 million anonymous deposit hit the Amir Funds account. No note, no sender, but Samantha felt a hunch. She followed the trail. An obscure foundation run quietly by Ivanka Trump in memory of her grandmother. Aaron was left speechless. He tried calling, but only got a voice message. "Keep going. Quiet eyes are watching." That gift funded a dream. The first traveling Malik unit, a therapy RV designed to reach remote towns, offering healing where hope rarely arrived. Their first stop, a rural Texas town where veterans lacked even basic care. They came in dozens. A little girl whispered, "No doctor ever talked to me." Aaron crouched beside her. "You matter enough for all of us." Her grin mirrored Malik's first laugh, a circle completing itself. Soon, handwritten letters flooded in from across the world. Poland, Syria, Mexico, Ghana. Children with special needs. Veterans who thought they were forgotten. One said, "You made me believe in America again." Another read, "I lost my son in combat. Now I mentor a child with his name. Thank you." Aaron pinned each letter's origin on a world map by the center's front doors. Before long, it glittered with pins, like the world leaning in to listen. Each morning began with staff reading one aloud. Aaron reminded them, "If we ever lose our purpose, their words will guide us." In a time of division, the Malik Center had become a quiet anthem. Unity whispered, not shouted. One day, a child rescued from trafficking arrived. No name, no language, only silence. For 2 weeks, Aaron sat beside her, saying nothing. Then one day, she gently placed her hand on his and spoke a single word. "Safe." Later, she drew a flower and gave it to Malik. He named her Hope. Samantha wept when she saw them holding hands. Later, a letter came from Trump. It said, "I heard about the girl named Hope. Maybe that's what we need most. Don't stop." Hope's flower drawing was printed and framed in every new Malik Center. A single bloom breaking through cracked soil, sunlight spilling in. Years passed. Malik was now 14, strong and steady, helping young kids stretch and read at the center. "One day I'll be a doctor like Dr. Aaron," he told Samantha. A child replied, "You already are." Samantha now led national outreach. Carlos headed trauma recovery for soldiers. Aaron, older now, mentored young medics. One asked, "What was the turning point for you?" Aaron smiled, thinking of the moment he turned down the president's offer, but said yes to something deeper. "What did you say yes to?" the student asked. Aaron looked out the window, toward the garden, the flower by hope, Malik laughing among the kids. "I said yes to listening." On the center's 10-year anniversary, Aaron received a final letter. No return address, just one typed sentence. "When you said no, I thought you were mistaken. Now I see you weren't. You didn't just create a clinic. You created a cause. It didn't just save lives. It reminded us of who we are. Our strength lies in listening to those who speak softly." Donald J. Trump. Aaron folded the letter. Outside, Malik was helping a boy learn to walk again. Samantha was pinning a new country to the map. The girl once called Nothing, now known as Hope, painted with other children. Aaron stepped into the hallway. The mirror still stood. One last sticky note clung to it. He entered in sorrow and left the world brighter. He smiled, touched it gently, and walked back into the light.